Welcome to Watch and Complain, episode like a book
192.
that we talk about, that we enjoy, and books. What?
This is like whenever I discover a wheelchair.
A hot girl in a wheelchair. And you turn to me within full fucking ear distance. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, that was right.
Full listening distance. No.
Ear distance.
Hear distance. Within full
Are you having the
hear
stroke now?
distance of this disabled person. And Phil says, I'd throw a wheelchair down her shaft. What's the word I'm looking for? Earshot. There's the word I'm looking for, than ear distance. See, now we're never going to be able to get past fucking wheelchair down her shaft.
No.
This is episode 19011. We're talking about
It's 192.
192. We're talking about The Mandalorian, season 3, episode 4, chapter 20,
My
Foundling.
chapter 20, The Foundling.
My least favorite episode, I think, of this show so far.
It was very CG heavy.
And bad CG heavy.
There was a lot of bad CG. There was some good, like some of
the birds look great.
It's funny how the ship stuff, they have to get right. And that stuff, maybe it's already in the buffers because they have it. They're just reusing
They're
things.
constantly reusing.
Yeah.
But so the show starts and they're showing, it's not Mandalore, it's wherever the Enclave is. And they're showing, they're training the younglings and whatnot. There's a scene where a guy is on his jetpack and he's going through, and when he lands, it looks fucking awful. He just kind of like, it literally looked like someone was animating, and then they forgot to include the part in the middle when he lands, and he's just on the ground.
They just can't do the transition
It
properly.
looked terrible.
It's kind of like in John Wick when that big guy falls on his neck, and it's just like,
and then
like
done.
it's like two speeds.
Yeah, it's like you missed the middle part.
Yeah.
I remember it being so distracting. I was like, holy shit, that looked terrible. And then there's another part later on where Paz Vizsla is flying and then lands when his jetpack is running out. It looks awful. And I was like, guys, what the fuck? Because in a show like Star Wars where it's so CG heavy, to have a really bad effect like that takes you right the fuck out of it. And everybody remembers when we've seen that shit in the original movies, you know what I mean? Like when you're seeing, for me, it was, oh, Christ.
Like that
totally
one.
lost my own train of thought.
Passion of the Christ.
Yep, that's right. In Passion of the Christ, when it's very obviously CG Darth Vader. But nope, I totally forgot my train
In
of
the
thought.
background.
Yeah, like it just scenes where you're like, well, that was kind of phony. Now it lives in your brain as like happy nostalgia, but when you saw it for the first time, you're like, that's kind of fake.
I think the quarter crew guys would be like, this is one of those things where it's your mind's eye thing. It's that thing where it's like, no matter what they do, it's not going to look right.
Oh, I know what I was thinking. Sorry, it's CG Yoda. So when you're looking at CG Yoda, you're like, my brain is telling me that's really, really fake and it's distracting me.
Now when Grogu jumps around or anything.
That's what I was going to bring up.
I keep thinking,
fucking hate when they
Rob's
have him
gonna
jump around.
curse around.
And I'm just like, you know what? Like, you don't need it. And I know they're trying to do it with physical effects, which is great, but you don't fucking... I think it's physical effects. I
don't
think
think
it is.
so. I think that's full CG.
Really? I thought it was.
It's
physical
some like
effects.
bouncing effect that they copy paste.
It looks... And it's not that it looks bad, but it looks stupid. At least to me, whenever it happens, I'm like, oh my God, guys, this looks dumb. Because it reminds me of that fucking scene in Attack of the Clones when Yoda's jumping all around in my entire theater. There wasn't a whole ton of us, but there was enough of us where we all burst out laughing. Because it looks so stupid. And then I see him doing it with fucking Grogu, and it looks dumb.
Something I do like about Grogu is when he walks.
Yeah, it looks cute.
That's fine.
I think the character of Grogu is great. It's this fucking trying to show him to be uber physical. It's just it looks stupid. Every time I see it, I'm like, ugh, like stop doing that. But
So would you rather him float places?
I kind of like when Luke Skywalker was kind of moving him along. But the little scurry, I think the little scurry would be great. But
Spider
I
scurry.
don't like the jumping.
Every
thing.
time he walks, I pick. This is gonna be awful. Shit. Should I say it? I picture him naked. Because I want to know what the creature looks like. You know what I mean?
Looks like Yoda. Didn't you ever strip Yoda's clothes off? Or is that just
Do
me?
they have like a real like?
Well, they have the figure.
Figure.
The Yoda figure. See, he's right there.
Do you keep saying figure?
Figure.
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 There you go.
Figure.
That's how you say it.
Why don't you fucking figure yourself?
I don't know what you're saying.
But like that little figure of
you
Yoda
go.
up there, you can see he's got like a little tiny body. You should go finger that figure.
Yeah, you know, I look at it as like some weird like newt frog thing that walks around. No.
Maybe that's why they've got the fucking suit on him, so perverts like you don't need to imagine what his young, supple body looks like. But
wait,
yeah, he's like 52 years old. So, but I did not like this episode. Was a complete throwaway, and it was basically
we don't even. I don't have to read the plot. You tell me what the plot was.
The plot was Paz Vizsla's son gets kidnapped by a big bird, gets taken over to get
with
fed
a gun. The bird's like, "Come with me." Ah,
and what's stupid is so Paz Vizsla's kid gets kidnapped.
All of a sudden,
gets taken back to the nest.
All of a sudden,
yep. Bo-Katan says, I'll chase him in the ship. That way we won't hear any of the jetpacks. The jetpacks will run on the fuel. Bo-Katan comes back, says, hey, we're going to, go, but we're going to camp out so we can walk in. They camp out. Then they go in. Then the next day, they climb up to the nest. They see the baby birds. And then the big mama bird comes out.
Which was way bigger than I thought.
But what's stupid is the mama bird comes out and barfs up Paz Vizsla's kid, and it's been...
Thank you, yes.
It's been how many days?
Yes.
And the kid is like, oh, that was crazy. How long have you been down there?
All of a sudden, it's been like 20 minutes, but yeah.
Fucking stupid.
It's been like at least 24 hours.
We know it's been a day.
Yeah.
We know it's been a day because they have them night and they stay there. But so that happens. He barfs up Paz Vizsla's kid.
Maybe he was in the beak the whole time.
Either way, it was as soon as that kid got barfed up, I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
It came all, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, leave the kid in the fucking nest or something.
Or the kid's dead, whatever.
Right.
You're just getting
stupid.
You have to get his body back, whatever.
But it was basically the Crate Dragon episode from season 2.
Oh, yeah.
It was basically start of season 3 with that big fucking
this
crocodile
was filler
thing. Yeah.
To get
complete filler
Bo-Katan to be part of the group.
And well, she was already part of it, but I think it was filler for her to admit to the armor that she had seen the mythosaur, because that's what she does at the very end of it. She's like, "No, I've seen the mythosaur."
But she had to prove herself to be part of the group.
Yeah. Okay. Good point.
Otherwise, she'd still be an outsider.
But it was, and also I think,
Mandalorian had to get the trust of the big guy,
Paz Vizsla. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because him and Paz Vizsla have fought since Book of Boba Fett, and they didn't like each other, even the original Mandalorian, second season Mandalorian.
So now they're building an army.
Yep. Or I don't think, again, remember, it comes back to, I think what we were talking about in the very first show, is it's growing to where this entire tribe is going to return to Mandalore. Bo-Katan is going to tell the armorer that, I like being part of the group, but I don't want to follow the old ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I think that's going to maybe, it's going to do, in my opinion, one of two things. They're going to learn from their mistakes and realize that, hey, we shouldn't be infighting. Let's have like a branch of government and let's try to get along and blah, blah, blah. Or it's going to send them down the original path that destroyed the Mandalorians in the first place, where there was so much infighting that they fought with each other till they were super weak, and then that got destroyed by the Empire.
Well, you know where this is going already, right? Because we've seen the future.
The mythosaur, yeah, that he's got to.
But we've seen the future in terms of the Star Wars universe. Is there talk of what happens to Mandalore in the future?
Not that I remember.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Nothing in like Force Awakens or anything. I don't remember anything about Mandalore being discussed then.
Cool.
But no, I think it's going to turn into Bo-Katan is going to sit in the high seat, and it's either going to be that there is infighting, because that's what destroyed the Mandalorians in the first place, right? Was all their infighting, or they're going to set up like, okay, here's how we are Mandalorians now. That's a bit different from how it was before. But either way, I think what's happening is they all go back to Mandalore. And this is the one that I don't know, either Bo-Katan or Din Djarin is going to ride the Mythosaur. I think it's going to be Bo-Katan, and that's why Bo-Katan attains the high seat. Yeah, but we'll see.
I like your idea there, and I think it would be a good like fake out where it's like we're expecting the Mandalorian or Din Djarin to do that. Mm-hmm. But he'll get incapacitated
somehow,
or something,
or have to rescue Grogu from getting hurt or something, and it'll be Bo-Katan that jumps on the Mythosaur. Either way.
So how would you rate the whole season? Wait, we're not done, are we?
Yeah, that's effectively it. Right? I did. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
one of the season.
Other huge thing.
Wow.
That I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, eh. And look, dude, I'm glad Ahmed Best has come above just being Jar Jar Binks. That's great.
Who? What?
Ahmed Best was, remember the black Jedi who grabs Grogu?
Oh.
That's Ahmed Best, the guy that played. That's the guy that played Jar Jar Binks.
They gave him another role so that he wouldn't have to be Jar Jar.
Yeah, effectively.
But when are we going to get something with Jar Jar?
Hopefully that whole race is gone. I hate Jar Jar Binks. I think everybody hates Jar Jar Binks.
Could they make it something that is okay?
Jar Jar Binks
instead of something that's goofy.
Jar Jar Binks is in the books. I can't remember what book. It's done by the guy, I want to say Chuck Wendig, who did the Aftermath series. He has, I think it's Chuck Wendig. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it's him. He has a part where there is a mime or a street performer that's performing in front of somewhere on Coruscant, and a kid comes up and says, "Were you always a street performer?" And this street performer responds with, "No," in so many words, "I used to be someone much more important, but I made a horrible decision that started us down a bad path, and I was blamed for it and kind of outcast." And as the story continues, you realize that you find out that that's Jar Jar Binks, and he was shunned because he was the one that effectively said he wanted the Emperor to have the Chancellor to have emergency powers, right? That he never let go of. So they did go back to who Jar Jar Binks was in the story in the extended universe. But I hope all those fucking Gungans are dead.
That conspiracy theory. The Jar Jar one.
That's so fucking stupid. I mean, you know what, dude?
Imagine they play upon it and just hint to it in one of the episodes. It's like,
I think that's why Chuck Wendig had that part in the book. He was like, this theory is really dumb. So he's going to
play it into it.
He's going to remind people that no, Jar Jar Binks is a dumb fuck.
Never say
so
it.
So now he's a street performer that has to act stupid for loose change. That's awesome.
Maybe it's part of it.
You know what's part of it? Wheelchairs. But yeah, so Ahmed Best rescues Grogu, gives Grogu to fair to certain Naboo soldiers, and then those Naboo soldiers take him somewhere. But I'm certain that those were Naboo soldiers. And then then we'll find out what happened. I did like the little flashback to Grogu. That was cool. But the rest of the episode, I was like, yeah, I don't need any of this, dude. The fucking birds. How those birds are good. So
how are those gonna? Yeah,
those are food. As soon as they come off the ship, he's like, "Oh, you have some new." I'm like, dude, those things.
But
are
they made
cooked.
It sound like they're going to
train as Mandalorians. Yeah. But I'm like, those fuckers.
No,
are
they
cooked.
won't get trained as Mandalorians, but as like something to ride.
They'll get trained as fucking KFC.
I think they're gonna end up being something they ride into battle.
Maybe
at the end, like they'll have this big battle somewhere.
And I think it'd be great if the next episode starts up with the Mandalorian like chewing a chicken wing or something like that, and it's these fucking big birds.
They should do that and be like, "It's not that." Like, they'll just be like, "No, it's not that." They're still there.
Yeah, and there's the bird with a fucking
the birds are eating some of it, some chicken. It's just awful.
But yeah, this was the weakest for me. The weakest of the series so far. There have been some other episodes that have the CG has been a little kind of goofy, but this one was outright. Someone fell asleep at their computer when they were animating that part because that looked like shit.
This was definitely just a filler episode to fill in the whole season. Oh, like we could add this fun thing because we have to tie some knots here.
Yeah. You got to give a little bit of Grogu's back past.
Train him some more.
Yeah, and that's really... I did like the little thing of
the
like...
needles.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. But again, it was like...
Are they called needles?
I think they're called singing birds.
Oh.
Singing birds or flying birds. I believe it's singing birds.
It's a little gauntlet that when you squeeze, the little missiles come out.
Yeah. But it was cute. It was fun. But I feel really the only big important part of this episode was showing Grogu's little backstory. I feel like...
Gaining trust.
I feel like because it's Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, I feel like Jon Favreau really loves the idea of the Mandalorians, and you discover the Mandalorians in Clone Wars and Rebels. I feel like Jon Favreau loves the Mandalorians, and Dave Filoni loves the prequels. So that's why there's constantly going back to the Purge, which is when when Order 66 went out. So I like and hate it because not that I hate the prequels, but really the only good part of the prequels, and there's some good parts to some of them, but the Purge is really the best part.
So when was the Mandalorian War in comparison to this season?
The Mandalorian War would have been happening
a long time ago.
Yeah, because Mandalore got destroyed by the Empire when the Empire was in their power, which would have been like A New Hope time, right?
Because I thought from the game, like the Old Republic, not the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic. How long was that ago?
Knights of the Old is like 2,000 years ago.
So that's because I thought they were talking about the Mandalorian War there, but maybe there was multiple Mandalorian wars.
Yeah, Mandalorian, because they're a warring people, right? Yeah. Mandalorians and Jedis used to fight side by side. Then with the invention, to my understanding, and maybe this is totally fucking wrong, and Star Wars nerds are going to go way more than me, with the invention of the Darksaber was developed for them to be able to fight against Jedi if they had to, because the Darksaber can stand up against a lightsaber. And that's what started kind of the warring faction between the Jedis and Mandalorians, and then they did not like each other, did not work with each other anymore. And then the Mandalorians fell into their own kind of infighting. And that's... while the Mandalorians were kind of buried in their own civil unrest, that's when the Empire came in and wiped them all out, destroyed everything in what they called the Night of a Thousand Tears, where the Empire destroyed Mandalore. That's where you see the flashbacks of like the TIE fighter bombers going through and bombing all the different parts of Mandalore. That was the Empire destroying Mandalore. And then the Mandalorians all just kind of went to different places all over the galaxy.
I loved the Knights of the Old Republic.
So did I.
Games. We've talked about that before, but I've tried going back to it, and I just can't. Like,
really,
I just can't. It's really boring if you've played it already.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of going from like place to place and going back to that place.
My second run through on Knights of the Republic was I did the first time I played it. I played everything to be a good guy. Mm-hmm. Second one, everything to be a bad guy.
Yeah, which was a lot. From what I understand, you didn't play the second one.
No, I played.
A lot of people didn't. But
yep. No.
Okay.
Second one is called the Sith Lords, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember playing that second one.
Anyway, I would play it again, and I hope that they remaster it by like putting, instead of doing it like one for one, they do it with like the newer mechanics that they have in games these days. Just like do it your own way based off of what we have now.
There is the Star Wars,
kind of like that game that you played that I told you has a new one.
Pong.
Yeah, the Pong XL.
Well, there's the
Dead Space.
The online Star Wars game, Star Wars
Old Republic. But that's an MMORPG that is like a lot of fetch quests, and those
really?
are boring.
Fuck
So
that.
I was so excited for the Old Republic when it was announced, and then I was like, okay, it's an MMORPG. Maybe they'll make it not as much like an MMO. No, total MMORPG, and I was like, I played it, but not long.
I think I built a character, and this is how quick I bore of video games. I think I built a character, and you go to the Sith training, and you go to training. It's like, hey, go get this thing, go get this thing. So I went and got those things, and I think halfway through when I was going to get the second thing, I'm like, fuck this, I'm bored.
And I think we said it before, you are very much a set down a certain path gamer.
Yep.
And you couldn't care less for like
Don't want to explore.
all these things.
None of that shit.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want the 600-hour game that
No.
you could just go through
My
all these
wife
different things.
is over the moon excited for Tears of the Kingdom, the new Breath of the Wild, or the new Zelda game. She is fucking, and I know we've got a console or docking station, set up for the Switch in my movie room. So she's even said, like, dude, once Tears of the Kingdom comes out, you got to find a fucking new TV to watch your stuff on because I'm going to be doing there. I'm like, God damn it. I set that movie room up hoping that
These
nobody
things
else
can go portable.
Nobody else would want to go near that movie room because like this is where Rob goes to watch his fucking movies that nobody's heard of before. Porn. It's getting stolen again. I've never watched porn in there. I don't think I ever could because it would sully my movie room. I don't want it sullied. Also, 4K porn on a big like 75-inch screen.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you have the VR thing.
I don't. That's another thing though, because I know you brought it up.
It's great.
I don't know. I'll have to try it one day, but I don't know.
How much use do you get out of the VR thing?
MetaQuest. The only one that you really use it is Elliot.
Yeah.
But with porn VR, isn't that the one like you put it on your phone and put it on? Because you can't. How would you get porn on MetaQuest?
There's a browser in the MetaQuest. You can use a
web
browser.
Pornhub.
You go to Pornhub, and Pornhub has the VR, and the VR.
Right.
Once you click into the VR thing, it just
I just put that together now. Of course, that's what you do. But I'll have to set up a separate account.
Not that I've tried it. Not that I know any. I just heard.
I'll have to buy my own MetaQuest.
I watched YouTube videos about it. About people who
cum stained. And then I go to the thing and it's like, oh look, so I can tell Phil's been on this because it's all VR plus disabled plus wheelchairs.
Elevator shafts.
We're sorry you've been watching Watch It Complain. Please follow us on YouTube and Instagram and Reddit and something else. And the website, which is watchitcomplain.com.
And in about 2 years, I'll probably have merch available with that joke.
Merch.
The elevator shaft.
If you wear that, we're going to get killed.
I'm so going to make that. I just got to find a funny way to do it.
You'll wear that out anywhere. We'll get killed.
I have an idea in
Guaranteed.
my brain. I want to make it completely original and not take other people's work.
Yeah, okay. All right, goodbye, everybody.